And hello, crafters.
Oh.
I'm Big D.
I'm Ray. Hi.
Hi, introduce
me.
The boy.
I am the lad.
The lad.
The maddest of lads.
Are you a mad lad? Not really.
You shut up. That's rude. I am the maddest of lads. Thank you, good sir. Ah, there he is.
And the phalanx has entered. Hi, or
It's the Commodore.
My man. Got my door. Gee, what is up, my guy? So tonight, we are talking about a couple things. First off, let's talk about what's on the bench. What are you doing?
I was trying to get the stream on my phone.
Why?
So I can... Never mind.
What are you doing? You're right here. Why do you need to stream on your phone?
Because if I put it on my phone... Well... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hello, everybody.
Hey. Hey. And Ben and Violet Phoenix. Hello. So, what's on the bench? What you got?
I've got to start working on my Marines.
Show them what you got.
All right. Okay. So, man, we still haven't done the thing with these guys.
I haven't sat down with the printer yet.
No, that's fine. No, I don't mean that. I mean the, sealing them.
Oh yeah.
So we got some assault intercessors that I've got to paint up, but
got them primed and
assembled, all that. They're the boys, and then we've got additionally my Terminators that are primed and assembled, and I'm so excited for them. They look so good, and they're going to look so good with this paint scheme.
Yeah.
Already, like, the silvery metal's looking good on them.
That's what you got.
That's really all I've got, like, when it comes to Warhammer stuff.
What about you, good sir? So I am in the midst of a build for commission that involves 2 boxes of this.
Oh yeah, 2 whole boxes.
2 Chronomancers, Katari Marshall, and behind us are also 2 more boxes of flayed ones. So I've got a big portion of it already built as far as the Skatari guys go. I wanted to get all the troops done first, and then after I'm done with the den, get into the meaty stuff of making those crawler tanks and the cataphrons.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the cataphrons. One set of them is going to be breachers. The other one's going to be the other kind of cataphrons. I forget what they're called. But I'm going to build one pack as the one and one pack as the other.
Okay.
I'm only building the Skatari as the ranger. I'm not building them as the other guys because he said it was up to me, and I don't like the other guys. I don't like their gun. I like the Skatari. So,
but don't they have like the cool Radion rifles or whatever they're called?
But they're really short range.
Yeah, but they're cool.
Well, I don't like them, and he told me to build whatever I wanted. He told me to build. He's had me basically build them however I want. He doesn't care. And if he said that if he wants the other kind, he'll have to buy more of them. He very well may end up buying a 3rd box of these because, I mean,
there's a lot of dudes. That is a lot of dudes.
This is a great figure. I got to build 2 of these. I gotta say,
hell to assemble though.
They're actually really simple. These guys are super simple. They're like 6 pieces.
They look like they would snap at the moment.
No, these guys are really simple.
Right.
This guy is a pain in the ass.
Oh,
but there's 2 variants of him. And I built, since he gave me 2 of them, I built both variants. And I really like this figure. I'm glad I own one of my own for my Necrons, which I eventually will build. And along with my 1 pack of flayed ones. I also built this Katari Marshall already. And again, I really like this model. It's a very cool looking model. It's just one of their new ones. If I were inclined to ever do Adeptus Mechanicus for myself,
Yeah.
which I would not,
Yeah.
I really would like to build some of these. I wouldn't mind. I gotta say, honestly, as a person that loves building, and as a person that loves value in miniatures,
They're such pretty models.
this is a great box. You're getting a squad of these dudes, the crawler tank, a set of cataphrons, and the Tech Priest Animus. I think it's a Tech Priest Animus. Tech Priest Engine Seer.
Is that a Sentinel on legs? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like a Sentinel on legs with a big cannon on the side.
It's called an Onager Doom Crawler.
Yeah, but
it's bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
It looks like it. It's bigger though.
Okay.
It's bigger. It's actually a bit bigger.
It's Sentinel on legs.
Yeah. Well, Sentinels are already on legs.
No. I mean, it's a Sentinel on spider legs.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. They put 4 legs on it because it's twice the size of a regular Sentinel.
Okay.
That's how big it is.
But it does look like a Sentinel.
It does. That's one thing. They made it very clear that that's what it was styled after. So, yeah. I mean, I'm building and building and building and building and building. And I got to get these buildings done so I can get to finishing up some more figures, some more terrain for my big terrain build.
Oh, yeah. That's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the deal there. That's what we have going on the bench. I got a lot of building that's still going to happen. I mean, to be honest, I mean, when you talk about how big they are, the base, I don't even want to dig for it. The base for the thing is like this big around.
What the hell?
It goes on a huge base. They're huge. And unlike other tanks, you have to have the base because it's actually walking around on legs.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's really dumb.
So, I mean, I love the fact that I get to build these and I don't have to pay for them, and I get other figures that I want for building them for this guy. So I mean, I got a whole lot of Imperial Guard for it. So I'm perfectly happy building for him. So that's what I got going on the table.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Oh no. He's thinking.
Nope. Let's get right into it. So, Adeptus Mechanicus came out.
Oh yeah.
This week. That's why this is all brand new. The rules are good. The rules are good. I haven't read over them too much, but they look fairly balanced.
Okay.
They look like they would give elves a good run for the Drukhari a good run for their money, but they're not overpowered.
The more people who can shoot the hell out of the space elves, the better.
Yeah. So they've got that going for them. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely a fan. Some of their figures, like the cataphrons, are interesting. Because the cataphrons start off with a 2-up armor save.
Okay.
So they could actually take plasma hits and still have a save left.
That's fair. That's nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it allows the mechanics to do like Mechanicus things. Because like with Beto Soak as well as because they do all the healing stuff, so it really just compile together well.
Yeah. Now in the old edition there was a set of the happy face robots. I look like a 1950s robot dudes. They're basically people using them as shooting robots. You get them to one fight.
Are those the Castellan robots?
The Castellans.
Yeah, Castellans are so cool.
But they have the shooty. They used to be basically you would take their shooty variant and you would not take their punchy variant, as Winter's SEO calls it. There's the shooty robots and there's the punchy robots. You would take the shooty version. And you would never take the punchy version because the punchy version wasn't worth it. And the thing is that once you would, as the shooty version, you would put them in place, they could never move again. That was their whole thing. They would be locked in place. As I understand it, I haven't looked at them personally, but the shooty variant is not an automatic take. The punchy variant is actually really good to take now.
They're just cool. Like,
and from what, if I understood right, the shooty variant is not locked in place anymore. They have to do some stuff. I don't know if it's a stratagem or something, or they lose a turn of shooting. But I think they can actually get up and move now.
Okay, that's good.
So they're not completely locked to a single place. So that's, like I said, from what it looks like, these guys are they're going to be very competitive. They'll be a lot of fun. They're definitely, with some of their stratagems, they'll definitely be able to handle fighting against the rest of the meta.
That's fair. So that's good. That is definitely a positive. Let me think.
So, there's been some point changes that they've come out with the new mission box or the new mission book. There have been some point changes. Chaos had some adjustments. Avatar Kane is down to 200 points. Not Keeper Secrets. Greater Demon of Change, the Tzeentch Greater Demon, is up to 260. There have been some adjustments here and there. The Crawler's down in points.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me that they're looking at Chaos. So we're going to start getting some codexes, I think, in rapid succession here.
I almost want to argue that they're not, that because they're putting up points changes for Chaos, that means that they're waiting longer for the Chaos Codex and doing something else instead.
Well, that's the whole thing. They've already shown the sneak peek of the Thousand Suns and Grey Knights box set that's coming out later this summer. So with the Thousand Suns and the Death Guard out of the way, that's who's left, because they're going to have to get Chaos.
I understand why. I don't understand. I do understand why, but at the same time, I don't understand why they would make the Thousand Suns and Death Guard rulebooks come out before the overall Chaos rulebook does. That always felt weird to me.
Because they're older.
No, and I understand it's because they're older, but it still feels weird because, like, it would feel like if, say, one of the Codex supplements for the Space Marines came out it came out before the Codex Space Marines came out, It just feels weird. Like, that's all.
Oh, I kind of get what you're saying there.
Be good to get some more corn stuff. Yeah, that's fair, G. The
big thing, the Sisters come out next week.
Very nice.
Sisters come out. Well, Sisters go on pre-sale next week, and they got all their groovy stuff coming out.
That's exciting.
The new super chick in her super armor. The what is her, Morgan and Vale or whatever her name is. I mean, with the giant lance death thing she's got, and then all the new Sisters stuff. I mean, Sisters are going to have a massive, massive release party.
Oh yeah. All the things,
which is fine.
What do you mean that's fine?
It's fine. I was actually like super hype about Sisters. I was thinking at one point I was going to get into Sisters, and I realized I am not going to get into Sisters. I am not.
You're a monster.
I'm not going to even try.
I'm going to get into Sisters.
I don't care what you do.
Because Sisters Battle are great.
No, they are great. You're missing my point. They are great. I'm just not going to get myself sucked into another army because they have let loose some stats this week. And for those of us that love the boys in green skin, Orks coming out with 5 toughness.
I'm mad.
Oh,
it's dumb.
Oh,
hi, we're just going to slap 5 toughness on a horde army. Cool. Because that makes sense. What, are we going to get Hormagaunts with 5 toughness now?
No, I think the reason they're doing it is they're trying to make the Tyranids and the Orks play differently. They're going to make the Tyranids a horde army that has lots and lots and lots of disposable figures, And the Orks are going to be a horde army with a little bit more staying power, but not as many models. I don't think they're going to be as bad as the Marines are as far as the eliteness and small.
Very nice, Ben.
Very nice, Ben. But I think we're going to, 5+ toughness. And if you're getting beast snaggers, 5 strength. Man! I want to throw them in some melee. Plus, they have a +1 to wound. They get a bonus +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters.
That's so dumb.
They're going to run up to tanks and just beat them to pieces. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, I am so worried that this is the route they're going, they're just going to blow everything else out of the meta.
But they're all 1 wound figures. That's a big thing.
But that doesn't matter when you throw 30 guys on the table, all with toughness 5, that your normal infantry can't shoot through.
I can shoot through them, though. That's the point.
You're still wounding them on 5s, even with...
I'm wounding them on 5s, and they're not making saves because I have -1 AP on those guns, and that -1 AP means I don't get a save.
You kill like 3 guys.
No, not when I'm throwing 40 shots downrange. How many intercessors do you think I'm taking? Oh, yeah. See, and this is a philosophical difference. I think the fact that the Orks are hard to hurt, but they can't take it if they get hit, if they get hurt, I think that's the flip side to what the Marines are. The Marines can take it, but they got to be hurt twice to really do it. I think that's a nice trade-off. I think against Marines, it'll be a really good fight. And I honestly still think the Drukhari are going to tear through Orks like butter. That's my biggest thing. I think the Drukhari are going to tear through Orks like butter because the Orks only have a 6-up save. And Drukhari weapons don't care what your toughness is. They're wounding on 4s, no matter what.
And that's fair. Yeah, Drukhari are going to. That's because Drukhari are still pretty ridiculous right now.
Yeah. That poison was true in 8th edition. That was the same thing in 8th edition. There's been no change. The only thing they've done is they've made the Orks so they don't die like bastages against Marines without even an attempt of a fight.
I don't think it's going to work.
Well, again, what did I say earlier? I think the big thing that's going to matter...
But it's not about hitting them. It's about wounding them.
And that's the thing. Your Flamer is a strength 4, so you're only wounding on 5s. Yeah, you're hitting them, and your blast things are always going to hit for maximum shots.
But again, most of those blast things are going to be...
instead of wounding 50% of the time, you're wounding 33% of the time. I think it's a good trade-off. I think it's a completely fine trade-off.
I don't think putting 5 toughness on a horde army is the right move.
I don't think they're a horde army anymore.
But that's what Orks are. That's what Orks are designed to be. They're a horde army. That's what they've been, is a horde army.
Well, but they haven't been so far in 9th. That's the thing. You know how they've been playing them in 9th? They're playing like a mechanized unit in 9th.
And that's fair, but...
Again, the game has changed, and I like the fact that the game has changed. And it's going to make people stop and think about what they're doing with their figures. A perfect example is the guy that won at London with the Tau. He is playing a Tau army that in 8th edition would have never made the meta. But it worked because he changed how he plays the army.
That's fair.
And I think that's the whole idea. I think if you play a horde orc army, you're not playing beast snaggers. I think you're forced to play the regular boys.
But the beast snaggers are good. Don't get me wrong. Like,
beast snaggers,
everything we've seen so far, but it doesn't matter if you're not able to take the beast snaggers if you're throwing 100 dudes on the table.
I don't think you're going to
5 toughness.
I don't think you're going to throw 100 dudes on the table. I don't think you're going to get. I think the 100. I think the difference is looking at the army. Look at how big. Like, I'm playing Custodes, and then there's an 18-figure army. You look at Marines at 2,000 points, you're talking about a 25 to 30 figure army. Okay? You look at the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Imperial Guard, and you're looking at 50 to 60. I think for Orks, you're looking at 70 models. I think the 100+ model army is what you're going to see when they finally do the Tyranids. I think that's going to be the realm of the Tyranid. It's going to be the 100 model army.
But what I don't understand is taking a big part of what it feels like the identity of the Orks as being such a
70 figures is still a horde in 9th edition. When I'm playing
if you can field 70 figures on the table that have 5+ toughness, how do you wound through that?
I shoot them. Because if they've got all just figures, guess what they don't have? They don't have a means to get onto. Again, they don't have a means to get on objectives. Remember, the game is not entirely about killing the other guy. It's about outplaying them on the objectives.
Yeah, if they have the objective, you're not taking that objective. They will have more guys, so your objective secure won't matter.
So you'll definitely have to gun the junk out of them. You'll have to concentrate fire. Shot prioritization will become super important now. Volley fire, getting in that rapid fire range, using rapid fire, using blast is really going to be important against Orks.
No, and that's fair.
And that's
the
how
strength of these weapons we're talking about isn't enough to really
Layman Russ,
dent them.
I could take a Layman Russ and destroy Orks just like that. I can take one Layman Russ and take 2 units of Orks. I can take one Layman Russ and take 1 unit of Ork off a table a round. Every round, 1 unit's gone.
With that cannon only had
strength 5, 40 shots, hitting on 3s.
Is it strength 5? I could have sworn it was strength 4.
And if I take the specialized gunner, get -1 AP on it.
Okay.
And look what we're doing there. We're suddenly going what and taking off a unit.
Yeah, but you already said that they get bonuses to wounding vehicles, so they charge the vehicle and tear.
I'm going to take him from across the table, and you're going to sit there and artillery them. Again, you have to know what you're fighting. Just because my base troops are really good, I still have to fight a whole army.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Yeah, the Orks are going to be an army that takes a lot more troops. But you're not going to not take Ludas. You're not going to not take Burner Boys. You're still going to want mech guns.
Yeah, but we're not just talking just their infantry is going up to toughness 5.
We don't know that. We've only seen stats for their boys.
Okay.
So I don't think they're going to adjust their vehicles any.
Well, yeah.
And remember, their vehicles are junk.
No, that's fair. But
that's what we're talking about.
I'm assuming that all their other infantry style units are going. If they make boys have toughness 5, then there's no reason to make not make the other group
absolutely
infantry units or elite units toughness 5.
But remember, they're going to have toughness 5, but they're much more expensive. The big thing about Orks is that the boys are cheap.
No, that's fair. But I think one of the big issues we got to wait for is what is the point cost? How are they shifting to point cost? Because if they don't shift to point cost at all, it's going to be ridiculous. But I don't even think that they're not going to shift the point cost.
Oh, they're going to change the points because they're not going to have baseline Orks have twice the stats of a guardsman and cost only a point more.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. I could see another point or 2 increase. You could maybe argue 3, but 3 is pushing it.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, we will see when they get their codex.
Also, do you think this? I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to update Kill Team at all with stuff like this at any point?
They already have.
Really?
If you got Pariah Nexus, it's got all updated stats for all the Marines and all the Necrons in there.
Okay. So
I think in the annual we'll see all of everybody else's updates, unless they do another expansion or another box set some point later this year.
Okay. I could see that.
I don't think Pariah Nexus is the last hurrah of Kill Team.
That's fair.
I know there are some people that are thinking it is.
I would love to see Kill Team get continued support for a long time. Is it going to? I don't know.
Hard to say. It's hard to say because
GW drops a lot of their side games.
They do,
which is disappointing because I really like Kill Team, even though our first few experiences weren't the best.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Counting your boys.
I'm just trying to see how far along in this, guys, I'm in.
Ugh. Imagine counting. Who does math? I don't do math. Math is for losers. Loser.
Imagine being so thick that you think counting is math.
I know I'm thick.
Strong like owl, smart like bull.
Anyway, no, that's fair. I don't like the idea of them going to 5 toughness.
And Ben, I agree with you. I can't wait for the Grey Knights to get their 2 wounds. I can't wait for the Thousand Suns to get their 2 wounds. I can't wait for all the Marines to get their 2 wounds. Then that's going to be their defining thing. Marines have 2 wounds and everybody else has 1. Ray's rent just went up because he can't math.
Wait for Grey Knights to be interesting. I mean, no, I like Grey Knights. I'm not gonna say
Grey Knights are great. I love Grey Knights. Honestly, the first Terminators I ever bought was a metal pack of 3 Grey Knights with Force Nemesis pikes. I wish I knew where they were because they're the old giant.
If I had the opportunity, I would consider running a Grey Knights army because they're just cool. Like, hello, all my units are Psychers. Blah.
Hello, all my units are Terminators. I mean, that there tells me that
my entire army can deep strike. The entire army.
I can deep strike while I'm on the field with you.
Yeah. Hello. And that I'll hit you with 10 billion psychic powers.
Don't play demons. That's just stupid.
Don't play demons. Hello, Bellicor. It's nice to see you.
You're 360 points of get off the fucking table.
Oh, man.
Points adjustments. Bellicor, 360 points.
What a bitch.
I mean, I don't have one. I don't care. But damn, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
For a demon that's...
Do you think he's going to be worth it?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is fair. You can't have all... Listen. Honestly, here's me going to be honest. I have more interest in playing Age of Sigmar and Warhammer now since I've considered running games with these things. That is actually something I have come around to, which is what my interest has been brought back to.
And what a wonderful segue.
Oh, yeah.
The new Age of Sigmar box. Now, here's the thing. I'm curious what people think. Do people think this is going to be a starter? Or do people think this is going to be a situation like Indominus Crusade, where it's like the Indominus box? It's a limited release box, and a lot of the figures aren't going to appear in the later starters. You'll have to buy them separately, or they don't come out at all.
I'm kind of hoping it's a starter box. I think it would be a great starter box.
I think it is too, but I don't think it'll be. I think they're going to do it the same way they did Indominus. The way that they're talking about it, if it is the starter, I'm telling you right now, if it is the starter, they did a smart thing. They put a named character in the box. So you never have a reason to buy more than one box. Unless you're going to have an extra that dude sing around. But they did say, well, stocks last. That's why, and that's the thing.
No.
That's why I'm like, is it a starter or is it an Indominus? If it's an Indominus, I'm fine with it being an Indominus-like box. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay with it. I like the idea of there being a pre-release box, that there's a special edition of the rule book, and there's extra models, and it's a little bit lesser price than would be buying all the units separately because there's extra models in there. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. You buy one and you're good, unless you're this household.
Y'all are crazy.
We only bought two.
Only bought two.
Oh, I have
only bought two.
I have a Space Marine army, and your mom has a Space Marine army.
Does she?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She just hasn't gotten to it yet. She started on it. But wait a minute, don't you want an Indominus box?
Kind of.
Yeah, you need everything in the box for your army.
Do I, though?
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
On your list. Yeah.
Do I want to not get out of spite, though?
Do you not want to play Marines?
I don't know. Yes, of course I want to play. The Marines are the only army I've... well, no. I want to play like 4 different freaking armies, but Marines are a good basis, good place to start.
Get clapped.
But I want to play a Guardsman army.
Nobody wants to play Guardsman.
I do.
Jack doesn't even want to play them. And Jack doesn't even want the guard. He wears a guard hat to games and he doesn't want to play it.
I want to play Imperial Guard.
Uh-huh.
I really want an Imperial Guard army. But they suck right now. And it makes me sad.
They don't suck right now. They just don't play like a normal. They don't play like a normal army anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play them like Tyranids. How many? Just play a welfare game like Underworlds with me. Here's the thing. I don't like that term.
A welfare game?
Yeah. I mean, it's only got a couple figures. It doesn't cost much to play. It's for cheap bastards.
I mean,
I don't like that. You know why? Because I like Underworlds. I don't.
No. I refuse.
Now,
out of spite.
Now, here's the interesting thing. Because I've built an orc army so far, as anybody who's ever built orcs knows, I have lots of bits left over. I have boxes of bits left over.
You should just make a Stampa just purely out of bits.
I have. I have started underneath.
No, I mean like not out of like any like actual chassis or anything. Just a pile of bits that looks somewhat like a mech.
It doesn't work. Don't have enough panels.
I know. It's
on the other hand, I do have a flower pot that I'm using for the basis of the Stampa.
Don't you want to use a Mr. Potato Head?
No, I don't want to do the Mr. Potato Head. That's someone else's idea. I kind of want to go buy a speak and spell robot and start that as the base. Wally.
Stop it.
Making a Wally Stomp would be hilarious.
Stompas are a curse upon this.
They're terrible, though. They're
Orcs
terrible.
are a curse upon this.
But here's the thing I want to say. There's the other reason I want to buy the new Age of Sigmar box.
Oh, no.
Because I have no intention of playing orcs in Age of Sigmar. I just have no desire to play fantasy orcs. I just have no desire. Now, a lot of people have commented on how this new band of orcs looks more like Tolkien orcs than it does like the classic cartoony Warhammer orcs.
I didn't even think about that. Holy crap!
Yeah, they do. They look a lot more Tolkien-y. They don't have the protruding jaw. They don't have the weird, cartoony, over-exaggerated faces. They actually look a lot more like Tolkien orcs. They look like Lord of the Rings figures.
That would be so.
But here's the thing. I still have no desire to play orcs in Age of Sigmar. So I'm going to buy one of those boxes.
You're going to give them guns.
And I'm going to take the entirety of the orc half of that box. And I'm going to strap rockets and guns and bombs and everything else on them. And I'm going to supplement my beast snaggas with the entirety of those boys.
That's ridiculous.
And they will look awesome.
That's cool. But
because there is an orc catapult There's an orc catapult, or not even catapult, a what do you call it? A ballista piece in there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace the arrow with a gun from a knight, so that it takes the place of a mech gun. And I'm gonna have their goblins all running around it. It'll be this the Beast Snagger mech gun.
That's awful.
No,
that's great.
More DACA. Yeah, I'm gonna put.
Stop it. Nove, bad.
I've been designing a gun helmet for my new warlord.
Orcs are a problem, and here's why.
Because DACA exists. So yeah, I'm gonna buy that box, and I'm gonna completely convert the orc half all into beast snaggers.
That's fair.
I've got so many extra bits and a 3D printer. I'm gonna make these boys into the most orkiest boys ever.
No, that's fair.
I kind of want to get. I kind of even want to order some Cromlech bits, so I can put some German bomber helmets on them.
Okay.
You know, the German World War I.
Yeah, no,
German World War I Kaiser helmets on them.
Jesus. So, what else is going on?
Well, I mean, that's Orks. I mean, what else is going on? Well, okay. We talked about sisters, talked about Meganis. What else is going on? The new chapter approved book with the new secondaries. We just watched Aspects Tactics on it. They're balanced a lot better now. I mean, as somebody who's been playing a lot of games lately, they seem a lot more balanced. It'll be interesting. I'm going to be in a tournament in 2 weeks.
No.
Where we're using the old set of we're going to be using the 2020 book, but they want to run like a monthly or every other month. They want to run a tournament there.
Yeah, no, the guards are conceptually. That's the whole point. I love the guard. I always have loved the guard.
You know what I love about the guard? As ex-military, I painted up my entire guard army to look like 1980s American military forces.
Yeah.
They look like my guys. And I even named my army the 347th Ivy Tigers, the Cadian, the 347th Cadian Irregulars, the Ivy Tigers. Now, I was in a unit. I was in 3rd Battalion, 47th Regiment, 3rd Battalion of the 47th Regiment, Infantry Regiment, 347. That's where I got the 347 from. Now, here's the thing. The regiment's motto is Mung Ho Tigers, which is Korean, I believe, for ever forward tigers or something. I forget what it said, but it was Mung Ho Tigers. That was their motto. When the 347th or the 47th was first made, they were part of the 4th Infantry Division. And so that shows in their regimental badge. The 47th, I mean the 4th Infantry Division is known as Old Ivy. So there's a piece of ivy in the middle of their regimental badge.
Okay.
So that's why I went with the Ivy Tigers.
That's cool.
So, for me, eventually I'm a regimental member. I'm a 47th Infantry registered member of the regiment. So, like, I can, in my civilian clothing, I can wear my 47th Infantry badge, and I'm not, showing disrespect or anything. It's like I'm a regimental member. I'm on the rolls for life as a member of that regiment.
Yeah.
The thing is that what I want to do is I want to take the regimental symbol and alter it a little bit, make it into a flag, and have a flag bearer carrying the 47th Infantry's flag.
Okay.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I like the guard. I will admit, so far as to the way they are in 9th, I liked them better in 8th.
That's fair.
I liked them a lot better in 8th. They played the way I wanted them to play in 8th. Now, admittedly, the way I played them, you can't even play it that way anymore. 2 of the rules that I used to play aren't allowed anymore. There used to be in the Vigilus of Blaze supplement, there was a special regiment called the Emperor's Fist.
Oh, yeah. I remember talking you.
That allowed you to take a specialty type gun for your tanks and allowed you to do some extra special shenanigans with shooting. And what I would do was I would take a Supreme Command detachment and take
Tank commanders.
3 tank commanders and the bad boy himself.
Pask.
Yeah, Tank Commander Pask. I would take the 4 of them, and I would fit in my 4. That would be my command, my Supreme Command Detachment. You can't do that with a Supreme Command Detachment anymore. So that's one rule they took away. And specialty detachments are no longer allowed in 9th. So that's gone.
Yeah.
That was that was between a third to half the points of my army was that detachment. And they took that away from me. Made me cry.
No tanks for you.
No, I can still play tanks. They're just not as good.
No tanks.
I mean, the whole thing with that detachment is that right now, if you have a Lehman Russ and your Cadians, you can move half your movement and still fire twice with the main gun.
Yeah.
As Emperor's Fist, you can move your full movement and still fire twice. It was a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
I bet.
It was a lot of fun.
But now you can shoot a melee. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to get some more. I want to get some more Punisher Gatling cannons, so that I can have I can have a squad of 3 Lehman Russes, non-tank commander Lehman Russes, that are 3 heavy bolters, a heavy stubber, and a Gatling.
I'm going to roll 150 attacks today per round.
Well,
you're not allowed to exist.
I mean,
this plane of existence is not for you.
I mean, I'm only firing 120 shots with the 3 main cannons.
Yeah, but the heavy bolters plus the stubbers, that should round out to about 150 shots.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Maybe 160 at that.
And you're worried about orcs.
Well,
yeah,
but you're still not enough strength to...
No, because those are all strength 5 or better.
I want to check that. I remember it being strength 4.
It's a strength
and that
5.
being my main issue. Why
it's a strength 5 cannon. It's a strength 5 cannon. And then you have 3 heavy bolters per tank. So 9 heavy bolters. Those are all strength 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Heavy bolters are strength 5.
I thought they were strength 4, 8,
strength
1.
Strength 5, 2 wounds. Soldier ways.
Okay.
But they got AP 2. And then you got the heavy stubbers, which I think those are strength 4s. But they have 4 shots.
I might be thinking of that.
Man, it's just like, oh my god, that's a lot of shots. I mean, that in and of itself, I think that'd be a lot of fun to just play against orcs. I mean, that whole You answer a lot of questions. I got a whole lot of orcs. I got a whole lot of DACA.
I mean, yeah. No, I'm not gonna.
And remember, the cannon's not a blast weapon, so he gets to fire twice. In melee. Go ahead and charge me.
Okay.
I might be missing a lot, but I'm throwing. I'm going to miss a lot of shots, but when I'm throwing a bucket of dice at you, I'm basically orcs in arm. Because, I mean, orcs still have a 5 shooting skill. I mean, they're still terrible at shooting. So...
Okay.
All right. So what do you want coming out next? I mean, the sisters are coming out. I want the guard. I know you want the guard. I wouldn't mind seeing the guard, but I mean, we know Adeptus Mechanicus just came out. Sisters are going to be coming out. We got Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, and Orks all queued up.
Maybe Craftworld Eldar will be next.
Well, remember, again, I have a source.
Really? Oh no. Still static? Still bad?
I don't know what your problem is.
I blame, I don't know, existence being a curse.
Might just be that we're just too packed in here. That's just fan sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of fans.
Okay.
There might be some popping at higher volumes. That might just be some volume settings I've got to adjust. Because I've been doing a lot of live chats on my Discord lately. Talking with people, babbling at people, playing games on my computer. So that might be I need to just adjust that setting.
That's fair.
That's fair. So, I mean, if they're adjusting chaos points, I think chaos are going to be coming up pretty soon too.
Yeah. Although, like I said, that might mean that they're not coming out. That might mean that they're not coming out.
I don't think so.
Because if they're adjusting the points, why wouldn't they just wait for the codex?
Because they've been doing that ahead of time the whole time.
Okay. No, that's fair.
If
that's what they've been doing, but that's what would make sense to me. It's like if they're adjusting the points, why not just wait for the codex if that's soon?
Well, like I said, they've been doing that. That's what they've been doing all along. That's the only reason I didn't say that. On the other hand, I was saying that I have a source that's telling me that the elves are getting a really huge line refresh.
Ooh.
Like a massive line refresh. So meaning they're going to be getting a big,
do you think,
another big box set probably later. The person that told me this is saying they were going to be getting a line refresh along the lines of the Necrons.
Do you think that it's going to be a Craftworld Eldar push or a Ynnari push?
I don't think it matters. It's the same figures.
No, and I understand that, but that means we're also going to have Drukhari units.
No, we're not going to have Drukhari units. We just got Drukhari.
Yes, but we might get new Drukhari units as part of that.
We would have got new Drukhari units.
Not if they're...
No, we would have got new Drukhari units when they did their codex earlier this year. Well, the way they've done it so far, they would have gotten them out. The only thing we got new was a little Hesperax. Now, there is an important point to be made with the models specifically. They had in the model, in the new kit for the Banshees, and the new kit for the what are they called? The Incubi.
Mm-hmm.
They highlight the fact that there is a helmetless version specifically for Ynnari membership.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They specifically point out this is the Ynnari version because the Ynnari don't wear masks and helmets.
So then what? Okay, so then instead of new, like individuals or units for their Drukhari, if they do Ynnari thing, maybe they'll get like specific Drukhari models for like different types we already have for the Drukhari. So like, for example, if they have like a very specific like, what are some?
Well, there's an interesting point that if you look at the rules for Lilith Hesperax, they mention some Ynnari stuff with her.
Yeah.
So she's usable in Ynnari. I don't know the whole deal there, but she's to a point usable with Ynnari. So that says to me that eventually we're going to be getting new 9th edition Ynnari rolls. I am assuming we're going to get them with the Craft Worlds box or the Craft Worlds book, because I don't think they're going to dedicate an entire codex to just the Ynnari.
That's fair, but it's not impossible either. To be entirely honest.
I do think it is impossible because the Ynnari only have 3 units that are dedicated to them. Every other
The Harlequins only have like 6.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
So, I mean, especially if they add new models to the Ynnari, because that's another thing. They might expand the Ynnari and give them their own codex.
I think that'd be cool. I honestly don't think it'll happen. Just being honest.
That's
the problem with the Ynnari, honestly, is that the Ynnari are already able to call upon the best units in every army of the Eldar to begin with. They're already able to call on. The only things they can't use are named characters, and the way that they worded it in the new Drukhari Codex, that seems to call that into question.
okay.
So
No, that's fair.
it's weird though. Like I said, it's weird because it does call it into question. It's like, well, can we use now named characters in the army? Does that mean that there's Ynnari variants on people? And I think they're going to do what they did with them last time. I think we're just going to get a White Dwarf supplement on them.
Like they did with the Fallen, right?
Like they did the last time with the Ynnari. The Ynnari have only ever been, I don't think they've actually ever had an official book. I think they showed up in one of the Rising Storm campaign books during the end of 7th edition.
Mm-hmm.
And then, other than that, they've been in White Dwarf magazines.
Okay. I think it would be cool if they gave the Ynnari something more, but I think you're right. I like the Ynnari conceptually.
I think at base, I think the best they could do, I think the best we could hope for is them to give the Ynnari a section within the Craftworks Eldar book.
That's fair. I understand there are a lot of people who don't like the Ynnari because it's not unfair that they're kind of the good guy, the specific good guy Eldar, and that's what they're played up to be. I don't know. I kind of like them because I think they have a lot of it still ties into Grimdark because they're not exactly doing the best, but at the same time,
they're the servants of the god of death. They're not happy.
No, they're not happy, but they're still unquestionably good guys, and that's we don't have a lot of that in 40K. A lot of the time, there are no good guys as a whole faction. It's usually there are these people in this faction. They're good guys. The faction itself is gray to evil. The Ynnari as a faction are just straight good guys. That's what they are. Even if we were to look at a chapter of Space Marines, no chapter of Space Marines is just purely good guys. Because even the Salamanders are raging lunatics of burn everything that is heretical and unclean and also Eldar. Even the Space Wolves aren't entirely good guys either. Are they probably some of the better in that regard? Orks are not the good guys. They're fun. They're great, but they're not good guys. They don't get to be good guys when they're massacring entire planets worth of people and enslaving them.
Why? They're not people.
Did you just really ask me that?
They're not people.
We're not having this discussion.
And honestly, you know who the good guys of 40K are, don't you?
Who?
The Tyranids.
You shut up.
The Tyranids are the good guys.
They want to consume the entire universe and murder everyone. Okay.
The sisters are not the embodiment of good.
Do I need to even talk about the pain engines or whatever they're called? Or,
Okay, they're fun guys, yeah. No, the sisters are not as a hand of the Inquisition, they are not the good guys.
Hand of the ecclesiarchy. They're not
whatever. They're the hands of, we put people into walking torture devices.
Because we think they were heretical. No. Like, the sisters are cool, and some of them are good, but the faction itself is not good. Like, there are specific characters, like Saint Celestine. Listen here, you. They're sinners. Yeah, they sin because, I forgot to pray to the Emperor at 11 o'clock and I prayed to him at 11:02. That's, no. Trying to think. But no, like, Saint Celestine's a good guy, but that's because Saint Celestine's...
I'm telling you, though, the Tyranids are good guys.
They want to consume the entire universe.
They want to eat. Hey, it's a buffet.
That's not a good guy.
How much?
That's a mindless monster. Anyway, Casey, you had a random off-topic question. Please ask the question before I strangle my... No, but seriously, what's the question? Laws are threats. That is correct, May. Laws are threats.
And I still say the wolves are completely good guys. I don't.
Okay.
I can't think of one bad guy wolf in the entirety of the wolves. Can't think of one.
The penitents are brainwashed into going to the machines, but sure, we'll go with they choose to go into the machines. So there's former abhuman that are fish people. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're abhumans. There are probably mutants that are fish people, but I don't think they're abhumans.
The only adhumans that I know of that are
Overin, Ratlings, Squats, and the Monkey Boys.
The Monkey Boys are monkeys. They're not people.
No, they're technically abhumans.
No, they're not.
No, they are technically...
The Jokeros?
Yeah,
the Jokeros are not people.
Oh, no, right. That's not what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of something...
Yeah, the Jokeros are actual monkeys that have been uplifted.
I don't believe there's a fishman form of abhuman. There could definitely be mutants that are like that, but I don't believe they're abhumans because...
Oh, I forgot about the other good guys.
Oh? You say the Tau will stab you.
I'm just saying.
The Tau... Okay. They used to be the good guys. I'll give you that. The Tau used to genuinely be good guys. And then the rewrite of their lore made them...
The only bad thing about the Tau is they've had to get more vicious because humanity is
sterilizing entire races that they bring into the Empire.
They don't sterilize
Yes, they
them.
Do. They sterilize
They just
them.
convince them that maybe letting themselves die out because their breeding is inferior might be better for everybody.
They sterilize other races that they conquer.
Mm-hmm. Every faction thinks they are the good guys.
Okay, but we're not talking about what they think of themselves. We're talking about... Like,
no, and you know what? That's not true. Because I can tell you right now...
Chaos doesn't think they're good guys. They just think they're right.
They think they're right. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Drukhari do not think they're the good guys. They're like, no, we're the bad guys.
We want to be the bad guys.
We are the bad guys.
Yeah.
What's up with this chaos shit? We're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Necrons. Look, we just want to eat gods. I don't know why you fleshy bastards are in our way. We're just here to eat the gods.
And then take over the universe.
Get off our lawn. We already owned it once. We had to go take a nap. And you guys came in while we you're a bunch of squatters. Get out. And you know what? Here, have some Tyranid. Deal with that crap. We'll come back later.
Like, okay, so there are arguably certain chapters, certain smaller groups inside the legions that are good guys. I'll say that. Like the Lamenters are genuinely good guys. But then if we look at the rest of the Blood Angels, there's a lot of fucked up Blood Angels.
Well, that's because Blood Angels are basically...
The Lamenters are the true son of Sanguinius. They are the true sons of Sanguinius and sacrifice in his name.
I mean,
You know the fucking flesh terrors are just
Blood Angels are basically 90s hair bands given form.
they're space vampire.
I hate them. I honestly hate the Blood Angels as a player. I understand why people dig them. Don't get me wrong. I understand why people really dig them. And they just, I'll be honest, because I was a teenager in the late 80s and a 20-year-old in the 90s, the whole vampire thing got played for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like the Blood Angels, but it's not the vampire aesthetic I like about them. I don't like the vampire aesthetic. I think the vampire aesthetic is lame. I like the angel aesthetic. The angelic aesthetic for the Blood Angels.
So then you should play the Dark Angels.
No.
The most loyal of boys.
No. Absolutely not.
What? You don't think secrets are fun?
The Dark Angels have spent so much time trying to convince people that they aren't evil, that they have become exactly what they were claiming not to be.
Well,
that is the biggest issue with the Dark Angels.
No. The biggest problem with the Dark Angels
they exist
is that they're a bunch of disloyal crybabies that point fingers at everyone else when they're the biggest crybabies of all. Lionel Johnson was given an opportunity to have a friendly tussle with his brother, and he decided to turn it into a blood sport, ruining everything for everybody. But y'all could have been cool.
You know what we can agree on? Parker Rabo's the worst.
No. Well, of the loyal boys, you know who actually is the worst? The Iron Hand. They are the worst.
That's fair.
Maybe only the Minotaurs might be worse, but
well, yeah, but that's because the Minotaurs are basically Cornates. That's what the Minotaurs are. They're just world eaters. That's what they are. They're the successors of the world eaters.
Man,
they attack the most loyal boys.
Man, the Iron Hands are just so.
Well, they're the Carcadons too. Those guys are pretty fucked up.
No, they just kind of see the world as a food chain, and they prefer to be on the top.
Yeah, Khorne's a good guy because he runs blood drives.
Here's the thing: of all the Chaos Gods,
Khorne is probably
the most pure. I just want to kill everybody.
Nurgle's probably the nicest. Khorne's probably the most pure.
Oh, Nurgle's the best. I have gifts for everyone. I give them the party. And a plague for you. And a plague for you. And a plague for you. I mean, Slaanesh is really nice, too.
No,
Hi.
Don't.
Hi.
No. Slaanesh is the worst of the Chaos Gods.
You know why Slaanesh is the worst of the Chaos Gods?
Slaanesh is creepy
as
hell.
Because Slaanesh came from the elves, and they're the actual bad guys in the setting.
Ah, yes. We're back to the theory that the elves are the reason for everything, and you're not wrong.
Considering that Cain and Khorne are the same dude,
they're two separate dudes because they fought.
No. You don't understand. I think I have been long playing with this theory that Cain and Khorne are facets of a extra-dimensional being that's been split between order and chaos.
That's fair. Okay. No,
just like Aisha and Nurgle are the two halves. And the Laughing God and Tzeentch are the two halves. And that is why the god of death of the Ynnari and Slaanesh hate each other so much, because as soon as the Ynid appeared, Slaanesh stopped getting elven souls because they're going to Ynid,
and that's why the fifth Chaos God is missing, because the Emperor is wounded, so he doesn't have his other facet.
You know who his facet is, right? I am a Chaos God. I'm an original Chaos God.
I'm saying it.
I'll be relevant someday again. That's okay. Let's go get you some cocoa.
Or what is
Malal.
his name? Yeah, Malal and the Emperor. They're the two facets. They're opposite of each other. And because the Emperor is wounded and dying in his chair, Malal is missing.
Right. And you know what the two aspects are, though? Malal is strife, and the Emperor is unity.
Hello, Jack Mueller. We have 12 people watching.
Jack Mueller!
Holy crap.
The man that plays the guard.
Oh.
Wearing a guard hat.
Guard, great. I love the guard.
But yeah, I honestly think that the Emperor and Malal they're the fifth chaos god. They are order, they are unity, and strife. Because Malal is the god of strife, and the Emperor just wants everyone to get together under his banner. Everybody's mine.
And get rid of religion.
Well, you can't have religion because religion is bad. Yeah. Because people would then follow the other chaos gods, not me!
Okay. Man, I'm trying to think of anyone else I can consider good. Like,
I'm telling you, man. I mean, look at the Necrons.
Necrons still aren't good. They mass murder people who have no knowledge of their existence.
Why are you guys on our planet? Get off my lawn.
Yeah, but they don't be like, oh, we'll help you get off. They go, murder, death, kill, murder.
We'll help you get off. One last time.
Yeah, that doesn't make they're not good guys. You can't argue that Necrons are good guys. Just like you can't argue Orks are good guys. Because as cool as Orks are,
hey,
I will...
Orks?
They mass murder
No.
and enslave other races.
Orks are the good guys.
No, they're...
Because they were created with one purpose in mind. Destroy the Necrons. If the Necrons are the big bad, the Orks are the good guys because we're the answer to destroying the Necrons. Just let us go destroy the Necrons.
No, they want to murder everyone. They want to fight everyone to death until there's nothing left to fight. And then fight existence itself.
Well,
yeah, okay. Yeah, yes, but we've already had this discussion that yes, the factions believe they're good in their own eyes, except for Katari. Believe they're good in their own ways. But we're talking about legitimate,
there is no good guys in 40K. There are no good guys.
No, I was saying,
other than the Space Wolves.
Okay. I don't have any points to argue with you on the Space Wolves.
Because they're the best, most loyal boys.
Because the Unari are straight up good guys, because that's how they're written.
I mean, I'd almost call the Ultramarines good guys. Except then they have Kato Sicarius, and that kind of ruins it.
Well, okay, but hold on.
I'm the most esteemed Kato.
No.
Kato Sicarius he's a massive jerk.
He's a jerk, but that doesn't make him...
He killed Elvish children!
Okay, yes. But we're talking about the faction as a whole. We're not talking about individuals. We're talking about the faction as a whole.
Yeah, the Ultramarines are Romans. They're not good guys.
So, the honest thing is, if we look at each of the Space Marine Legions, there are evil stuff that they have done. All of them. Like...
Except the Wolves.
The burning of Prospero.
They deserved it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
We were following orders. They
the
deserved
destruction of Prospero.
If they had listened to Dad, they'd be fine.
No. The destruction of Prospero was evil. Yes, they did it under orders, but they could have chosen not to. They could have made the choice, and they chose not to.
They're the most loyal boys that would never go against the Emperor.
And that doesn't make them good guys.
Yes, it does.
Because the Emperor isn't a good guy.
Well, the Emperor's the best guy.
No, the Emperor is not a good guy. He's a horrible father, and he's like an absolute shit. Like, his plans are great. The issue is everything falls apart the moment he leaves the picture. Well, and he didn't have any preparation for that. He didn't have any...
He did have preparation, but his boys decided, because everything is Magnus's fault, they decided to not listen. Magnus was supposed to be in the damn chair.
He could have told Magnus. He could have explained anything to Magnus. He could have guided Magnus's psychic powers, helped Magnus understand them and control them. You know what he didn't do? Any of that. Had he done that...
You sound like a heretic. I'm just saying.
I am being honest. These are things we need to understand.
Well, I mean, when it really comes down to it, we know whose fault it all is.
It's all Erebus' fault.
Yeah.
Everything is Erebus' fault.
Everything is Erebus' fault.
Well, okay. Technically, we could blame the Eldar as well, like the old Eldar, because it's also kind of their fault, because Slaanesh and all that. They created Slaanesh.
But they only created Slaanesh recently. They've kind of changed that. They've only created Slaanesh.
Yeah, but we can like blame the old Eldar as well. Like,
actually, but
not everything is Erebus' fault.
Actually, if you go back to it, you know who the actual fault everybody's is? Actually,
who?
It actually is the Necrons.
I mean, that's not incorrect.
I mean, it really is a Necrons.
Like, you can kind of blame the original Necrons and all of them for...
Because if it wasn't for the Necron tier, we wouldn't have the Orks. And we wouldn't have the Catan. Because it was them deciding to eat the Catan that made everything kind of go awry.
Aren't they the reason that the whole from Chaos like opened up because of that? I don't remember the exact context.
No, that's just souls.
Yeah, but I believe the war in heaven is the reason why those tears were ripped, because of the mass amounts of death and the souls being torn apart. That was the reason for all that.
It's possible. It's possible. But I mean, if the Necrons never decide to eat Catan, we get rid of about half the problems in 40K.
No, that's fair. I'm not disagreeing with
But
that.
you know what the problem is then?
What?
If we don't have the Necrons, we only have the Eldar. And remember, people tend to forget this. The Eldar that we know, they're the newer branch. The Drukhari are the true.
They're not even the true one, because they're even like they're less bad than the old Eldar were.
But I'm just saying
that's terrifying to think about.
Yeah,
that the current Drukhari are about half as bad as the original Eldar were. That's horrifying. Because you take everything the Drukhari does now, turn up to 11, and that's how you find the old Eldar. And that's horrifying.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for the Necrons trying to eat the old ones wouldn't have made the Eldar and the Orks.
No, the Eldar already existed. It was the Orks that they created. The Eldar were already there and existed. Because remember, the Necron tier, the Eldar, and the old ones are the three like oldest races.
Yeah, but it's the old ones and the Necrons are fighting. The Elves are like, oh God, we're not in this. We're just the Hobby Corner. Good to see you, buddy. Honestly, you know what I would love to see with all the stuff they're doing? I mean, this just came out of nowhere, but if they're going to do a refresh and they're going to do a whole bunch of new stuff, considering they're bringing the Beast Snaggers and bringing all this really new Orc stuff in, you know what I would love to see?
Elder Exodites.
Yes.
Elder Exodites.
I want to see Exodites. Cool. I want to see Eldar
riding fucking dinosaurs.
Riding the dinosaurs that they use in Age of Sigmar that the Lizardmen are using.
You know what would also be cool?
I just want to picture a Brontosaurus with las cannons on its head.
No, it's fair. I know the old ones are all dead.
No, they're not going to bring old ones. I know. We're the old ones.
I understand.
No. I just want to see Exodites. I want to see Exodites. I want to see Exodites that are just like, y'all are all messed up. Man, that would be cool.
You know what? What if they did that as part of the Ynnari? What if they brought in the Exodites instead of their own faction?
Well, that's the whole thing.
Bring it into the Ynnari.
The Exodites have joined up with the Ynnari in the book because Shan's been reading.
So we get a Ynnari Codex with all of the Exodite models. Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be cool.
I would love that.
That would be a fourth Eldar Codex, and I think that would be a little too much.
Okay. To be fair,
the Imperium
has like, oh,
That is a fair argument, but considering there are more first founding chapters of the Space Marines than there are Xeno factions.
I think having another Eldar faction would be awesome.
Having an Eldar Yanari Exodite faction, I think would be cool.
Oh man!
Instead of bikes, they ride around on pterodons.
That would be so cool.
Dino elves would be cool. Or even
I want squads of like beast tamers that have like they're a dude with a squad of fucking like velociraptors around them. So like it's like a pack of Thunderbolts, but all of them have like a sergeant essentially that's just an Eldar, and then it's a squad of freaking like mega raptors.
Bringing back the Herd would be cool. I mean, they just brought back the what are they called? The dragon centaur thing. He was
I don't remember.
the somebody's got to remember the name of him. I can't remember. He was just in the latest Blackstone Fortress. They used to be the emissaries of the Tyranids before they realized that was dumb. But yeah, I mean that'd be great. I would love to see either that or let's just go for it. Let's get a new Xeno faction. Let's bring the Lizard Boys in, led by Lord Crow.
Or the Rat Ghouls or whatever.
Zotes, that's it. Yeah.
We should get Rat Ghouls.
No.
Yes.
We should get Zotes and the rest of their race, which is actually the Lizard Men, led by Lord Crow.
We need a Tau auxiliary, like specifically just Tau auxiliary. But no, they're not doing Tau. I hate that. I hate that they went mech suits instead of auxiliaries for their focus. I understand why the Tau mech suits are cool. I get it. I do get it. But the idea of like a Xenos faction that has bunches of different races is so much cooler to me.
I don't disagree. I think if they were to add like 3 or 4 more factions of littler guys that take up specific roles within the Tau, I think that'd be pretty cool.
And having a named crew character.
On the other, they do have a named crew character.
Do they?
Yep, they have a named crew character. He gets to go ahead of time on the board and set charges.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. He was in Blackstone Fortress.
I'd want more Xenos faction. I think more Xenos faction would be cool. Like the Rat Ghouls, like I was talking about. The Rat Ghouls.
Oh, the Men of Iron. Oh. You know, and that's the thing. There's a lot of really cool lore they could pull up. There's one Man of Iron in Blackstone Fortress. I really hate that they killed Blackstone Fortress. I really wish they continued that game on. I mean, because I don't want to even talk about Cursed City. I'm so mad about that. The fact that they're now saying, we're probably not going to have an expansion for that.
I also still want a Dark Mechanicus faction. I really want a Dark Mechanicus faction.
I want a Dark Imperium faction, like actual Astra Militarum that actually functions.
That would be cool.
Chaos.
That would definitely be cool. But I think Dark Mechanicus would be a lot more like... You'd get more types of demon engines, and you'd get a lot of like...
But the thing is, they have Dark Imperium forces.
No, they do. Okay, but here's the difference.
And the problem is they just call them all cultists.
With the chaos... Okay, so this is my only argument, is that I want a Chaos Guardsman faction as well. But they can get more models out of a Dark Mechanicus faction, because all they really do with a Dark Imperial Guard faction is go Guardsmen with Chaos Bits, Lehman Russes. Like...
No. It's been 10,000 years. Guardsmen running around in Chaos Engine tanks.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like adding just a Chaos Guardsman unit to the Chaos Codex is probably more likely what they would do.
They have them already. They're called cultists.
No. I mean, like, adding Chaos Guardsmen as their own thing rather than just cultists. Like, basically a little bit more costly but better equipped cultists.
The problem is they have figures for them, too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They have figures for them. The problem is they already have them in the freaking Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah.
And they're terrible. They're terrible Gene Stealer cults. Blood
But
Brothers.
I think Dark Mechanics would be really cool.
I think Dark Mechanics would be
Because
cool.
we get so many cool new demon engines, and then the kind of like horror like a thing of like how the cybernetics work with the Dark Mechanicus. I think that would all look cool because we see like the kind of like clean and sleek, but still like, you know, bit like we see what the mechanics look like. They're very sleek, but they have like I almost want to say like 60s sci-fi.
No, they're definitely 50s. They're very definitely steampunk.
And I love the idea of like the reverse of that, almost like partially Lovecraftian, like looking Daemon engines and Mechanicus members, like freaking just imagine like a Tech Priest Engiseer, but with like tendrils.
Hobby Corner. That's just wrong. That's just wrong.
That's awful.
That's just mean.
You're a monster.
You
are a monster.
Be ashamed of yourself now. No, I mean, well, here's the thing. In 7th edition, they added the Custodes and the Sisters of Silence.
Mm-hmm.
In 8th edition, they added the Imperial Knights. So, I mean, eventually they're going to add a new. I honestly believe they're going to add a new faction every expansion.
I feel like it should be the Ynnari at a basis.
Ynnari and the
Ynnari with Exodites would be cool, and I think that's the important part. It would be cool, and they would get good models out of it because they basically have to take some of the Lizardmen models, like the ideas from the Lizardmen models, and convert them over
to guns on them.
Yeah, that's all they have to really do, and add some new like weird ones, like a cybernetic up freaking. Like a Velociraptor with a cybernetic arm that's a gun. Or like an Eldar riding on the back of like a Triceratops is like just a gun platform.
Yeah. So, you know, I think they could. I mean, they're gonna have to add a faction in 9th. I don't think they're gonna add it before they put out everybody's initial codex.
Yeah. That's fair.
Which means we probably wouldn't see it until next year. But I think Exodites would be a good faction to see a codex for.
I'm trying to think of other Xenos races that could be.
I mean, there's a whole thing is that they're adding this whole thing to the Orks. I mean, it would be nice for them to just add a completely new race, kind of like they did when they added back in 4th edition when they added the Tau.
That's not untrue, but Gene Stealer cults aren't in a great
cool and make money are two different things. How many Gene Stealer players do you know? I know exactly one. I know of exactly one. And I know of people that enjoy the army online. I don't like the army. I'll be honest with you. I don't like the army. I want to buy their Goliath. So their big rock crushing grinding thing, because I want to convert it to an Ork vehicle.
Yeah, they're just aesthetically for me. It's just there's nothing for me that I like from their aesthetic.
And don't get me wrong, I know people that love Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah,
and that's cool. There's things about Gene Stealer cults I really like. I mean, I like the dudes with the rock saws. I think they're a cool looking figure. I think they got a lot of really good looking models. I mean, they're very alien-esque. I'll be honest. I liked Gene Stealer cults more when they were part of the whole Tyranid army.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's fair. Like,
when they started making them, when they made enough different Gene Stealer cults to make them their own army, it's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's cool. I mean, somebody liked it. They did the focus groups and they sold enough models, so they obviously, you know, they've given them the support. The other point you made, Kami, to be blunt, looking at our local meta is shallow as crap. I mean, honestly, we are so Imperium heavy It is ridiculous.
But part of that's because that's...
No. Tau are one of the strongest armies in 8th edition.
No, I'm not talking strength. I'm talking numbers of armies. The Imperium to it has more...
But I mean, I'm looking at people that even have multiple armies. Even people that have multiple armies, they have multiple Imperium armies.
But half your choices are part of the Imperium.
Right, but here's the thing. Then there's going to be some outliers out there. I'm talking in general. But I mean, in general, that's the funny thing. If you look online, there's a lot more Xeno players than there are Imperium on a whole, it seems. But I know that's not true. I mean, Marines are played, armies are played. I don't know, man. I mean, the Tau are a really strong faction, and in our local meta, I'm the second Tau player that I know of. You know, because one of them, you, gave up playing Tau. I know of one other Orc player, and he doesn't play anymore in our local meta. But if you think about it, you think about our main playing group, and I mean, I'm talking.
There's not
just look, just
shallow.
I don't.
The meta is shallow. Like the meta in the area is shallow.
Yeah,
and that's no person is shallow. It's just that everything is Imperium, so the meta itself is shallow.
Yeah, it's like a dish. It's like everybody's playing the same variations on an army. I mean, just looking at it, I mean, your main two armies, perfect example you've been, and there's nothing wrong with your armies. I know I love your paint jobs, but the main two armies that you play that I know of are Dark Angels and the Grey Knights. Commodore plays primarily Imperial Fists and Imperial Knights. The Imperial Knights is a rarity.
Honestly,
and that's a new faction. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, and says again, and I'm not saying shallow and then it's like shallow-minded. Yeah. And that's the thing. Don't take the word shallow as in saying people are I mean shallow in that it's like a shallow pool of water. There's not a lot of depths in there. I mean, I know of about 30 players in the local area that I personally know by name. And I mean, maybe that's not a lot, but I know about 30 players that I know by name and talk to on a regular basis. And of that 30, I know of 4 or 5 that are primarily non-Imperium players. And of the non-Imperium players, of the Imperium players, most Imperium players are playing some variation on Space Marines. I mean, there's multiple Wolves players. There's multiple Blood Angels players. There's lots of Blood Angels players. There's multiple Ultramarines players that I know of.
But that's
multiple Dark Angels players.
That's again because
that's the main 4 that GW pushes. Again, I'm not saying that otherwise.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know of I know of one Eldar player, and I haven't seen him in 2 years. I haven't seen COVID, for blame for part of that. But I haven't seen him. I haven't talked to him in 2 years.
And I'll be honest, there aren't a lot of the non-Imperium factions that have ever interested me. I don't really like the Tau. I don't like their aesthetic.
Which is weird because you're a weeb.
No, I'll be honest, I hate the mech thing. They were much cooler conceptually when they were more about their auxiliary groups.
But they've never been up. They've talked about the auxiliaries, but the auxiliaries have
but as a faction, it's much cooler to have a faction that's built around multiple races filling different roles than
it was cool
than them just being a new flavor of the Imperium.
But that's something they're not. The Imperium.
We're one race doing all these different things instead of we are multiple races who fill different roles. And that's
here's the
way
thing.
more interesting.
And I say conceptually, I agree with you there. I agree.
And I don't like the way their mech suits look. I think their mech suits look like kind of garbage. I think good paint jobs make them look good, but I don't like the design of their mech suits. be mad at me all you want, but I don't like the Tao's mech suits. I kind of like the Eldar groups. I like the Drukhari more than like the Craftworld Eldar in their vehicles.
I'll be honest.
But the Craftworld Eldar, the way that their faction works and the different types of them is cool. I really like that.
Okay, I just realized Tina is an Eldar player. I remember that because I haven't seen her Eldar in a while because she's been, since the sisters got refreshed, all I've seen her with his sisters. Yeah. But that's right, Tina is an Eldar player as well. And that's cool. But that's the thing. I mean, it's one of those things that, and then there's armies out there for everybody. And just the problem is that 90% of the people I see playing are playing Marines or some variation of Marines.
But again, that's because half of the army options are Imperium. Like, half of the armies that have codexes are the Imperium.
Oh, I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I think they need to add more Xenos races. Yeah. I'm agreeing with you on that point.
They also need to add more Chaos factions. They need to they need a World Eaters book, and they need an Emperor's Children.
I don't think they need a World Eaters book.
Yes, they do.
And I'll tell you why.
Because why not?
I will tell you why the World Eaters don't need their own book.
Why?
Because the World Eaters have, quite literally, in lore, they only have one difference. They really only have one difference.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Okay, what's more than that?
So first of all, they should have 6 different hero units, because their whole thing with the World Eaters is these giant badasses of martial combat.
They have them.
No, they have Karn the Betrayer.
Because he's killed everybody else.
No, name me another important World Eaters character.
I don't know, because I don't like the I don't like Korn. I don't like Korn.
I feel like each of the 4 Chaos Gods, because the normal Space Marines have them, that each of the 4 Chaos groups should have basically a codex supplement sort of thing.
You see,
giving them cool stuff that their faction does, because it will give more reason to play different kinds of Space Marines,
I guess,
rather than just I'm either Emperor, or I'm either freaking
Emperor's Children.
I'm either Black Legion, Thousand Sons, or Death Guard. That's it.
Oh no, there's more reasons. I would play Emperor's Children before I'd play. Emperor's. I would play Emperor's Children before I play Black Legion anytime.
But they don't have models specific to them. They don't have special looking models.
Yeah, they do.
No, they just have the Chaos Marine models.
No, they do not. The Emperor's Children has a named character and has specific Kafraktis that are specific to just Emperor's
No, I'm just talking troops. They should have a.
They do. They have
their troops.
They do. They have the.
Yes, they have the Noise Marines. I'm talking just troops.
Noise Marines are troops for them. Emperor's Children have the rule that their Noise Marines are troops.
But when it comes to
just like for the Death Guard, that their Plague Marines are troops. Just like for the Khornates, that the Berserkers are their troops, and just like for the Thousand Sons, that the Dust Marines, I forget what they're called.
I think each of the Chaos factions, like the Chaos Legion, should have more options.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, it's like, unfortunately, they're kind of operating in a smaller area, because as cool as they are, they've been doing this crusade for 10,000 years, and they're having a hard time keeping materials up. I mean, honestly, there's changes that need to happen to Chaos to make Chaos better. I'm going to tell you right now, I think one of the biggest things they need to do, honestly, is to give them a Dark Mechanicus so they can explain where they're getting more Marines from. Because, honestly, they shouldn't have any Marines left. 10,000 years, they should be out of Marines by now.
No, because they can use the G&D to make more Marines.
Yeah, but they don't have enough Dark Mechanicum to make them birthing pods.
There's lots of Dark Mechanicum.
Not according to their game rules. That's my point, which is why they need to do Dark Mechanicus.
No, that's fair.
And that's what I'm saying.
I feel like they should be an army, but I don't feel like they need to be an army before we get more interesting stuff for Chaos. I feel like we need both interesting stuff for Chaos and Dark Mechanicum.
Dark Mechanicum is Chaos.
Yeah, no, but that's not what I mean.
I
There should be more stuff for the Chaos Marines.
Ben, I am coming on Saturday. I will be there on Saturday. I'm actually looking for a 40K game for this weekend, and if I can't get a 40K game, I'll come later specifically so you know I can battle. I kind of want to
get stomped by your Lumineth.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring 2,000 points of Stormcast. You bring 2,000 points of Lumineth, and you punch my Sigmarines to death with your spears. That's fine. Whatever. You know, I'm more than happy. I want to play more. I actually want to play more Age of Sigmar. I like Age of Sigmar. I want to be clear. I like Age of Sigmar. And I like the fact that I don't know it so well, that I don't understand the meta, and I don't understand a lot of the little gribbly bits, because I just want to play it casually. I don't want to ruin Age of Sigmar, and I say it in a really weird way. I don't want to ruin Age of Sigmar the way I've ruined some parts of 40K for me. There are some units that are really cool in 40K that I have a real hard time playing because of how bad they are. No matter how cool they look, I don't want to play them because they're bad.
That's fair.
Like, I love the look of Scouts. I love the look of Scouts. I can't see ever wasting points on them.
That's like kind of the thing with Reavers. I really like how Reavers look, but unless you're playing Space Wolves,
there's no reason to ever take Reavers. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
If you're playing Space Wolves,
they're useful.
They're good for murdering the Thousand Suns.
And that's about it.
They're good for murdering Psyker armies.
They're good for murdering Grey Knights.
Grey Knights.
On the other hand, I want to build... you know what's really crazy? You know what I really want to see them get a codex for? The actual freaking Inquisition. I want an actual Inquisition book. I want to be able to bring... And I want to bring Karamazov. Okay. Yes, beer and pretzels, exactly.
But here's the issue. The Inquisition, yes, they can work like that, but the whole thing with the Inquisition is having these other groups that are their own factions, but they draw from them. So at that point, you're basically going, I want Ynnari for the Imperium, which is cool, but at that point, that's what you're building.
I do know I want to...
Because if they build an Inquisition Codex, they need to be able to access the Sisters of Battle, the Grey Knights, the Imperial Guard, the Death Watch. They need to be able to access all these groups' units.
Death Watch suck.
Yes, but
it's just terrible. Death Watch sucks so bad,
that's the whole point.
And I want them to be so good.
That's why they make the Inquisitors their own thing, their own characters that can be added to any Imperium.
Yeah, I know, and I can't play an Inquisitor in a wolf army.
Why would you play an Inquisitor in a wolf army?
I said you can't.
Good. That's a good thing.
But I want to play Karamazov.
Too bad.
You're
playing the wolves.
I love Karamazov.
Choose any other faction.
No, the really funny thing is that by the rules of the game, I could play Inquisitor Karamazov in my Space Wolves army.
I'd stab you.
That would be like the worst lore ever.
I would stab you in this house the moment you put that army on Battlescribe.
It would be so fun, though. Karamazov is such a fun character. It's so dumb.
Death.
He is the dumbest character
ever. You guys are talking about burning me for heresy. This. No, but
actually, no. I want to put Eisenhorn in an army too. Actually, I want to get Karamazov and run him with my Imperial Guard army
again. But that's kind of the point of the Inquisitor characters. That
I want them to make better too. I want them to come up with more units for. They want so much out of this damn game. I would definitely use Karamazov. I think he's awesome. Just in lore, he is hilarious. He is so bug nuts crazy. I love him. I love him to death. He is so bug nuts insane.
That's fair.
I mean, he's just he is. He's insane. I love him. He's one of the few characters I've actually read some of the short stories for, and he is just absolutely he is literally beard twirling, mustache spinning, insanely evil. I love him to death.
But no, we need more Xenos armies. We need more Chaos armies.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll put him in my Death Speakers list. We've come to purge the Xenos. Because I run them as Iron Hands.
No, that's fair. I'm trying to think. Because
we are past 9 o'clock, but we're having a good talk here. I don't know. And that's the thing. You know, there's a lot of really crazy figures that don't get enough use in 40K.
That's fair.
And there's a lot of crazy good armies that just again, talking about our local meta. I love the people I play with. But like my buddy Max, I know some people don't like him because he crushes people's armies, but I learned so much playing against him and his stupid Harlequin army. It's just dumb, but he's good, and it's a good army. It's fun to play against, but you get crushed.
If we're talking about models that we really enjoy and wish we could use, Bretonnian Knights.
You can use them in 40K. Actually,
I consider trying to find STLs.
I do. I have STLs for mechanical horses.
I was thinking.
I have STLs for mechanical horses.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that. First of all, if I can get a STL of the Green Knights figure,
I don't know about that
as a Wolf Lord,
but I'm just saying I have STLs that look like Bretonnian Knights, except they're mechanical with like gears. That's and cool. It's hilarious.
No. What I'm saying is,
and a steam tank.
Getting a wolf, using them in place of a Wolf Lord on a Thunderwolf.
Right. But I'm saying I also have the steam tank, which you can use in place of a. I'll have to show it to you. It's hilarious. I love 40K.
It's okay.
I think it's the best game there is.
What?
Hello, nurse. Tony can be used in Sigmar. There are war scrolls for them.
What? Like Grail Knights and
I told you they're all usable. They converted everybody over. They're just not a mainstream army. They're part of the Cities of Sigmar.
I'm already playing Age of Sigmar. I might start playing Age of Sigmar.
You have to find war scrolls for them.
If I can get my hands on
as FEC, what does FEC stand for? I don't know FEC.
I want to put a Ground Knight on.
They're not in cities? What are they considered then? They're just Bretonnians. They're just random dudes, huh? Oh. You can play with Flushing the Courts. Actually, that wouldn't be fun. That would be hilarious. No, listen to me a second. Listen to me a second.
I want to play as Order, not Death.
No, listen to me for a second. Think about it this way. You take a Bretonnian army. You paint it up as a Bretonnian army. I'm just using the rules for the Death Eater Courts and their horses and their lancemen and all of that. I'm using their rules, but they're Bretonnians.
Maybe.
That's not actually a bad idea.
But I want to throw a Ground Knight at it.
Check for Messenger. I sent you a link. I will do that, Ben.
Greater Damon and watch you just.
All right. We are past our 9 o'clock.
Way over.
We're not way over. We're 10 minutes past. Which you know is past your bedtime because you're a good boy.
It's not past my bedtime. It's past my game time.
Just play Iron Jaws. No, I told you. I'm taking my Orks and I'm converting them to. I can show you when I'm playing though. Go over there and grab my box. You'll see it. It starts with an O. I am playing some guys. Other than my Stormcast for destruction, it's like a small red box. Oh, it's that one, yeah. I got these boys. And I tell you what, I love these guys.
They were pretty freaking cool.
For destruction. And I'm not done painting them yet, but I have a thing on the Beast Raiders, like the dudes on like the mammoths and the dudes on the giant war cats. I've got one box of them. I want to get a second box of them so I can finish up that army. And I'm going to play Ogors. I love the Ogors. I think they're cool. I think they're cool as heck. And that's what I'm going to play for destruction because we have kind of a rule in the house between me and Lady D. One army per faction in fantasy. Oh, the Maw Crusher's a great figure, though. He is just a really cool figure. But we kind of have a rule, specifically for the house. One army per faction for Age of Sigmar until you complete an army. So in each 4. So she has a Death Army she's almost done with, and then she's going to start working on her Order Army, which is the Daughters of Cain.
I kind of want to make a Chaos Army for Age of Sigmar.
I have my Stormcast, which I've got some extra figures I got to do yet. I've got a Destruction Army started in my Ogors, and I have a Chaos Army in my Slaneshi Army. She also has a Chaos Army in her Khornate Army. And she has a Khornate Army.
Oh man, I need to make like a Nurgle or a Tzeentch army. Damn it.
No, you can make your own army.
No.
You want to do an Imperial Guard army, you can make your own army. I'm going to have a Necron army. Your sibling's going to have a Necron army. I have my own Necron.
Sibling isn't going to be here.
Well, whatever. We're not talking about that. But, I mean, the whole thing is that you have to finish one army and have a playable army before you move. I can't build a second order army until I have a playable army in each of their factions. It's just, we made that rule early on because they have a nice, easy delineation. I wanted Ogors. She actually wants to do the mushroom dudes. I forget what they're called.
I have no idea.
The goblins of the mushrooms. I forget what they're called. But she wants to do the goblins with the mushrooms. She thinks they're the cutest things ever. All right. 3 a.m. Well, thank you for being here. Keeps the piles of shame to a minimum. That's exactly the thought. Because my 40K pile of shame, although much smaller, is still pretty bad. Gloom Spike Gits. Yes, that's it. She wants to play the Gits. She loves she just thinks they're hilarious. Especially the ones that are bouncing around on the giant om-nom-noms. So, all right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up here. We are 15 minutes over. So we're going to give a quick shout out to our patrons.
Yeah.
We have our two Battle Brothers level patrons in Brian, the Mini Warmutt, and Inquisitor Zane.
Yeah.
We have our Battle Leader tier patrons, which we have Hellworks by Hellchild. We have Wolf Brother Mythos. We have Greg Tesh. I think that's where we're at right now. Heinrich, much as I love him, he's got a big expense. He's looking to do a big move. So he had to back off his patron. And that's okay. Heinrich, you're still my guy. I still love you to death. I love all the work you do with your STLs and whatnot. Still a good guy. And Joe Bookish, I also write other. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's around. And then lastly, we have our top tier. We have our two Warlord patrons in the Flight of the Phoenix and the Commodore. I love you guys to death. You all mean so much to me. And I love everybody that showed up tonight. I love the fact that you guys really showed up in force. We had 12 people here tonight, which is a good show for us.
We got up to 14.
That's really great. And we got 8 likes out of it. Now, remember, comment below. You guys already subscribed. That's all good. Pass the word around. Spread around. Share it. Tell people we have these crazy conversations every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every other week he's here. I try to alternate. Hopefully, now that Lady D is off work and mending, I'm going to switch out. Like, he'll be here one week, and Lady D will be here the other week.
I'm better, so it's fine.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I can't say I can't because they'll
I
flag
don't
my
know.
video.
14 people don't show up when she's here. But when I'm here, 14 people show up. It's just my charming personality.
Man, I can't say what I want to say because that'd be just mean to both of you two. And I love you both. So, that being said, I'm Big D. He's the boy.
I don't know. We'll come up with something. We'll workshop it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fun.
Thank you, Ray. You're lovely.
Yeah.
Epic your board. Epic your game.
Epic your life.
Be good to each other. Wash your hands. Get your vaccination. And take care of each other.
Night, everybody.